welcome back to the channel. So today we are starting a new series. I'm gonna start a series called Things I Love versus Things I Hate, where I'm gonna talk about a specific category and show you things in that category that I love and things in that category that I hate. This week we're doing makeup. So makeup I love versus makeup I hate. Because I have tried so many makeup products, I've gotten sent so many makeup products to try and test out, specifically to give reviews on. So I feel like I have a pretty good understanding of, for me personally, what I like to use and what I don't like to use. And it's not necessarily like they're bad products, it might just be like things about them that I just prefer not to have or prefer certain type of products over others type of thing. So I'm gonna kind of go through my makeup and see basically what things I like and that I use all the time and what things I don't, and just to kind of help you guys and to recommend things to you that you may not have tried yet or have been curious about trying, and we'll just take it from there. Let's get started. I think I'm gonna start with how I apply my makeup. So first thing I always do is primer. So face and the primer, I have two of them right now, one that I love using and one that I don't. This one that I love is by Maybelline New York. It is their Master Prime by Face Studio. I always try and get products are made for the camera and made to be used when filming or taking pictures, because obviously I do that a lot for not only my job but just in my personal life with vlogging and stuff like that and making content. So I always try to find some type of a primer that, one, has a lot in it, because I bought primers that don't carry a lot and I just don't want to have to keep buying them, but are also made for the camera. So this is one I really like. It's clear, it goes on really easily, it doesn't make you feel very oily. So overall I've really liked using it, and I've used it for, I mean, months now. So really great product. The other one I have, I really try not to use, and it's super cheap, but it's also made for the camera. I still have that type of focus, but I got this honestly from a contract I did, and they provided makeup for us, and this is the primer they gave us. It's by Wet n Wild, and it's their Photo Focus Face Primer for a dewy look, which is part of the reason why I don't like it, because I like a very matte finish. So the fact that the primer is supposed to give you a dewier look is just not something that works for me. I don't always see when I use this that it makes my skin look very dewy, because I do put powders and stuff over top of it, but it's just not my favorite to use. It is tinted, so it's kind of like a tan type of tint to it and has a bit of a shine. But I wouldn't call it a terrible product. It's just not something I would buy myself. But if you're someone that likes a dewier finish, then yeah, give this one a try. And it's a less expensive brand, so Wet n Wild would carry this. It's at most drugstores, along with Maybelline. I get all of my products that I actually buy myself. I get them all from like Walmart, Target, CVS, all that type of stuff. I am not out here going to Sephora or Ulta paying a ridiculous amount of money for makeup, because I find that the drugstore stuff works just as well. Now onto eye makeup. I always start with eyeshadow. I keep it super basic, and I am not the smartest when it comes to eyeshadow palettes. So the things that work really well for me are little palettes like this, where they have specific colors that are supposed to go together. Like, I literally have so many of these, and they're all from like Walmart, Target, or CVS. And they tell you on the back like where you are supposed to put things, because that is the direct like instructions that I need in my life. I try and get things that are made for my specific eye color. Revlon and Almay are the ones I have, and I'm pretty sure these brands both have like lines that are specifically for each specific eye color. So I try and get ones that are for hazel eyes, because that's what I have. Now, what I'm not the biggest fan of, which I've tried to get better at, are the palettes that don't tell you where to put things. They're just like a bunch of colors, and it honestly really confuses me. So I have some, this is my newest one I just got, and the colors are really pretty, which is partially why I got it, because I liked the colors in it, and I'm just not the best at it yet. If you are someone that is good with palettes like this and can kind of just like artistically know where to put things, I envy you, because I don't have those skills. Another type of eyeshadow I'm not really a fan of that I've tried, I haven't gotten a lot of practice with it, are these types. They're like liquid eyeshadow. I got these from Influencer, and these are by e.l.f. And you know, it looks like that, I just don't really know how to use it because they're like, you know, each thing is one color, so you feel like you need like a bunch to like be able to pair things, and I've tried it like once or twice. I'm just not good at it. So like, I don't understand this. Now on to eyeliner. My favorite type of eyeliners to use are black liquid eyeliner that are really easy to apply. This is the one I'm currently using. It's by Rare Beauty, which is Selena Gomez's makeup line. And just look at that tip. It is so pretty. It goes on so clean. That's what I'm currently wearing, and it looks so nice. I just love it. I've also used ones like this where you like need a brush to like, you know, put it on yourself. I just don't find that it has as clean of a line as like the pens, and I don't always want to have to get a brush to use these because then I have to clean the brush every like so often because it gets crusty with the makeup that dries on it. So this just like kind of annoys me sometimes. These are my favorite to use. I use them for performing and stuff like that, which are these like pencils that, you know, just a classic eyeliner pencil. It's just not as clean of a line as a liquid. When it comes to mascaras, I love mascara. I think it's my favorite type of makeup product to use, and I've used so many different ones. I honestly don't feel like I have that much of a preference because I feel like I've been able to make all of them work for the most part. The one I mainly use now is by Fenty Beauty, and it's got like a double-sided applicator. It's kind of hard to see, but it is like a wider brush, and I do like how it applies, so that's very nice. But I've also used this one by Rimmel London, which is like a, you know, eco-friendly type of one. It looks like that. It's nothing crazy. This one honestly has kind of a weird smell, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but and I also have this one by CoverGirl. This one I'm not really a big fan of because it doesn't lengthen my lashes that much, which based on the brush you can tell it doesn't like give a lot of length. So I like mascaras that give me a lot of length and like fullness to my lashes, which the one tip I have noticed, which I haven't bought this anymore myself, but I've tried it out before, is a lash primer. So I would highly recommend a lash primer. They're like those white ones you put on first and then you put the mascara on. Did wonders for my lashes when I had one, and it was just a little sample thing, but I tried it and it just gave me so much length and looked so good. It was almost like I was wearing false lashes. They were so long. So if I were to buy something again just to pair with my mascaras, I would definitely buy a lash primer. That's eye makeup. That's literally all I do is eyeshadow, eyeliner, mascara. Now onto foundation, which I feel like people go crazy on foundation and get super expensive stuff which you really don't need to. It's probably been one of the only things that I've kept the most consistent throughout the years as far as the brand I use, the things I do to make my foundation look how it is. So I have almost always used the Maybelline Fit Me foundation. I specifically always look for a matte, full coverage, poreless finish. But my biggest tip for foundation, because I also contour and everything, is that you don't really need a separate like contour stick or whatever. I just use 2 different shades of foundation, especially because for me, I get very tan very easily. So my skin tone kind of changes throughout the year, whether I'm at my palest or at my darkest. I will basically take one foundation that is me at my palest and one foundation that is me at my darkest and use those as my highlight and contour, because no matter where I am on that spectrum, I am somewhere in between here, and using them together will even out to what my actual skin tone is, and it's always worked for me. Basically, I will put the lightest tone, since I'm kind of more at my lightest right now, all over my face, blend that out, and then use the darkest tone to go into those contoured areas and blend that out too. I sometimes use a concealer, I sometimes don't. I actually forgot to put it on today, but this is the one I've been using. It's by Revlon. It's their Color Stay Skin Awaken Caffeine and Vitamin C 5-in-1 Concealer. It works good. I've had some trouble with it being too drying over time, so I can't use too much of it at a time or it'll make my skin like flaky and like super dry. So to find a concealer is a little tough, but I don't always have to use one. So I didn't use one today because I honestly forgot. But I also, some people, you know, I just see use just like a powder foundation. It's not my favorite. I don't really use it that often because I will use a translucent powder over instead of a powder foundation. And I don't want my skin to look really like dry and flaky, so I don't use the powder foundations for that reason. And then once I have done the foundation, now we are going on to the powders that I put on top. I love a translucent powder. I think it looks so good and it makes your contour look even better. My favorite that I've used more than anything is this one by Airspun. It's a really big container, so you get a lot for it. This is in their shade Translucent Extra Coverage, and I just use a damp beauty blender just to put that under my eyes, on my T-zone, all that type of stuff, and then we'll brush off the excess with a fluffy brush. I've also used this Rimmel London Stay Matte loose powder. It works pretty great too, but I have to be careful with some powders because they tend to make my skin a little too dry. I see like cracks and wrinkles and I just like don't like that. So one that I'm not really a fan of and I try not to use was given to me from a contract, and it's by Ben Nye. It's just their neutral set colorless powder. I also don't like the container it's in because I have to like pour it into something, and like the lid isn't really that big, so it's kind of harder to apply. And then after the translucent powder, we're going on to our contour powder just to kind of like re-establish that contour. I have been using this one from Kevyn Aucoin for years and I love it. It actually comes with blush and highlight in here, but I mainly just use it for contour. So these are the contours. They're in different shades, which I love because it goes with like how deep my skin is at the time or how tan I am. So I normally use this medium powder, but because I'm a little paler right now, I have been using the lighter one recently. Highlight. I absolutely love this highlighter, and I'm so sad it got crushed while I was touring and broke, so I need to find a way to fix it because I love it so much. It's by the brand Joa, which I've worked with a couple times from Influencer. They've sent me a bunch of different products, but this is like a jelly balm highlighter, and I just use my finger and just put it over my cheekbones. And I've gotten so many compliments on it because it just looks really nice and it glows in the sun really well. So I need to know how to fix this. But yeah, sometimes, I don't know, highlighters, they just don't do it for me. Sometimes I don't even want to use highlighters. I've also tried the like liquid ones. I've used this one by Glow Milk before. It's just not my favorite to use liquid highlighters because I find that it's just like too much. Like it's hard to get like just the right amount because you'll put a little drop on it and it's just like a lot. Blush I kind of change up. I mean, blush is blush. I try and do stuff with more of like an orangey pinkish tone. So my favorite is by the brand Phase Zero, and it's this very simple little, it's kind of like an orangey blush, and I think it works really well with my tan. But this is in the color Making Moves. But yeah, it smells really nice too, which is something that's really big for me. So yeah, any type of like shade like works fine. I've also tried this one from Physicians Formula, which isn't my favorite. It's like a stick blush. It looks like this, and it's actually designed, you can use it for blush, lipstick, or eyeshadow, which is a very neat idea. But it's just kind of hard with a stick. Again, it like gets to be too much. Like you put little dabs, and then to blend it out, it gets like, you feel like I'm jabbing into my skin, and it's just not something I want to do, so I don't really want to deal with it. Then I go to eyebrows. I didn't do too much with my eyebrows today, just kind of like brushed them out and like put some brow gel on. But what I normally like to do, I used to use eyeshadow to fill in my eyebrows. I would literally just take a little like small brush and take a brown eyeshadow and just fill it in and call it a day, and it worked for years. I would still do it if I didn't have anything else to use, but right now I use this one from Billion Dollar Brows, and it has a little spoolie and it has a little retractable like little thing like that, which works really well. It's very simple, you know, just make some light strokes and then brush it out. And then I use the corresponding Billion Dollar Brows brow gel. And last but not least, well, kind of, is lips. I wear lipstick and like lip products, I feel like pretty often when I do my makeup. And I like to keep things kind of natural. My favorites that I normally go to, I don't know if you can actually find them because they're from Ben Nye, and I got them when working for Disney. But this is in the shade Natural, and it just looks so pretty, and I love it. It just looks like a natural lip. So I use this more often than not for auditions and stuff like that. But I also love stuff with a little bit of a darker tone, like this one. This is from Revlon. It is their spicy cinnamon shade. So I like this if I want a little more of a deeper type of look. I also have some liquid lipsticks that I tend to like. Stuff like this from Maybelline New York. This brand is really good if you need something that is going to stay put all day, because it does not come off. I have it in this red tone, and I also have it in pink, and I've gotten these for contracts, which is why I have them. So they're very good if you want them to stay, but make sure you have makeup remover handy. I also just love a gloss. I think sometimes a gloss is all you need just to kind of like boost your lips. So my favorite from Tom Ford right now is what I've been using, which is what I currently have on. And it looks really red at first, but I promise it's very natural, and it's very sheer. So it doesn't leave that deep of a color and a pigment on you, which I like. I have some higher end lip like sticks from like MAC, but I honestly don't use them hardly ever. I have a couple in this light pink, and I don't know why, because I really don't use them, and I don't think the color looks good on me. Or I have this like bright red if we're feeling real frisky one day, but I really don't use them. I need something natural, and that's just me. Okay, 2 more things and then we are done. So I don't always wear fake lashes, but when I do, I've stayed pretty consistent as far as the brands I like using, and I've tried a lot of different lashes and a lot of different types of lashes. I've tried like the normal kind, I've tried magnetic, I've tried the magnetic liner lashes, all that type of stuff, and honestly magnetic does not work for me. I've tried it so many times, and they're expensive because they're made to be reused more, and the magnets just don't work. So I need to go old school, and I go with ones that I glue on, and if I can rip the glue off and reuse them a couple times. I like to use ones by Ardell. I get them at CVS. These are their 120 demi black lashes. They look like this, and they just give me a really nice just pop to my lashes and added volume. So I use these for auditions a lot, and I will sometimes put mascara over them just to blend everything together. Our last product is setting spray, which is very important. I would highly recommend a setting spray just to keep your makeup in place, or if you're someone like me that accidentally touches their face a lot and I forget that I have makeup on, it really helps. So the one I'm currently using is by the brand Joa. It's their Crystal Glow Refreshing Luminizer Skin Mist. I also have this one from Wet n Wild, which is not my favorite because the spritzer is not good, so I don't recommend this one. It's their Photo Focus Matte Finish. It's same as that primer. Again, it's just not my favorite. I don't buy things from this brand. I just have it because it was given to me for a contract. But yeah, I think I've also used ones from Maybelline. They work really well too. That was a lot, but that is basically what I like and what I don't as far as makeup. So I hope that was helpful. I have put a lot of these products in my Amazon storefront that I could find on Amazon. So if you need some recommendations as far as products I've used and products I like, you can look for them there. I've also put a lot of my skincare stuff there too, so you can check that out. The link is in my bio for my Instagram, and like basically all my social media has that link, so you can check that out if you want. But thank you guys so much for watching. As always, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below to stay up to date on the latest content. You can also follow me on Instagram or TikTok at bgraf100 to stay up to date on the content there. And I will see you next week, Thursday at 6 p.m. Bye!